Hello, everyone! Today I want to invite you to think about English not only as a tool for communication, but also as a way to imagine and feel the world differently. One of the most fascinating aspects of language is the metaphor. A metaphor is when we describe one thing as if it were another in order to create meaning. It is not about literal truth but about symbolic truth. Metaphors allow us to express emotions, ideas, and abstract concepts. It is in a way that we feel real feelings. In this brief explanation about what is a metaphor, we will explore how metaphors appear in everyday English, in literature, and even in music, and they enrich our ability to communicate. Here we have some examples. Metaphors are not only found in poetry or novels, they are part of our daily conversation. For example, when we say time is money, we are not suggesting that we can deposit hours into a bank account, but instead, we are expressing the idea that time is very valuable, limited, and should not be wasted. Then we have other example here, and it is referring to heart of stone, right? And of course, no one's heart is literally made of stone, but this picture communicates cruelty, lack of empathy, in a way that it is instantly understood. Then we have this picture, okay, with some animals in there, and you can describe this as the classroom was a zoo. They are not describing animals running around, but rather noise, energy, full of energy, coming from students, of course. And you know that these metaphors are shortcuts to meaning. They allow us to paint pictures with words and to share feelings in a simple phrase. Without metaphors, our language would be flat and mechanical. Then we have some literature and culture metaphors. There we have metaphors that also plays as a central role in literature and culture, such as some words in Shakespeare that one of the greatest writers in the English language wrote. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. In this metaphor, life itself becomes a theater of each of us plays roles, acts scenes, and eventually exists. This picture helps us reflect on identity, performance, and the temporary nature of existence. Then we can find some metaphors in music as well. Metaphors are powerful. Think about this. You are my sunshine. The person is not the sun, right? But the metaphor conveys very warmth, joy, and love. This example shows how metaphors are not just simple words, they are essential tools for expressing emotions, concepts. And you know that they allow us to connect language with imagination. Now let's make it creative, right? I want you to imagine your future. How would you describe your future using a metaphor? Okay? So you can say that your future is a blank canvas, or your future is a mountain climb. Here you have some images to explain this better. Metaphors like this help us to articulate our hopes and fears in a way that is more powerful than literal language. Think for a moment. What a metaphor would you use to describe your school, your friends, or even your dreams? Let's practice together. So I will leave this for you. You are going to take 2 minutes and then we are going to check this. Okay? Think about this as a challenge to discover and match these meanings. Time is out. Okay, so now you are going to check this with your notes, check with your partners. And now, so what have we learned today? That we can find metaphors everywhere in our conversations, in literature, music, even in your imagination. They make language richer, deeper, very expressive, right? They allow us to communicate emotions, ideas that cannot be explained with literal words. Next time you speak English, try to use a metaphor. It will make your words more powerful and memorable. Language is not just communication, it is imagination. Thank you for being there and have a great day.